Motherhood. They told us it was a beautiful hood. But they forgot to mention the loneliness, the cost, the depression, the plans that fall apart. In this week's podcast, I'm discussing about the other side, the truth African women only whisper about. What do you do when you're raising kids alone? When the marriage collapses? When the community becomes something you pay for? When motherhood becomes a curse? And how do you heal while you're packing lunch boxes and wiping tears that aren't even yours? Join me as we unpack the real, the raw, the edited version of motherhood and remind every woman out here that choosing yourself is allowed. When motherhood becomes a burden instead of a blessing, what I find is that for most women, when things become hard, we don't give it words. And even when we give it words, we don't give it the right words. We're afraid of saying things exactly as they are. Because maybe we don't want to look like we're ungrateful or something is wrong. Actually, that is it. We don't want to look like something is wrong. We always want to portray positivity. There's a toxic type of positivity that we have. So you find that when a mother is suddenly going through tough times, things are hard financially, the children are acting up, you're tired, you're depressed, you're harassed, you don't want to say that. You just want to say, oh, we are grateful, oh, we are blessed, and kind of mask things and sweep them under the carpet. So when I say give your pain vocabulary, I say it as it is. Saying it as it is doesn't mean that you are ungrateful, doesn't mean that you are wicked. It means that you are human and you are saying what it is that is wrong and what is happening to you so that people can help you, so that you can also find help. Because if you don't know what you're looking for help for, will you find it? Community has become expensive because we have to pay for everything we need now. If you look back to even our mother's times, there was always somebody in the house. You had an aunt, you had an older cousin, you had your grandmother. You know, there was always somebody in the house that was not your immediate family. And those people contributed to the community and, for lack of a better word, unpaid labor, so to speak. I mean, people paid for labor differently. You know, you got a place to sleep, and in exchange for that, you babysat. You know, you got a place to hang out when they're waiting for school to open. In exchange for that, you helped when they were in the farm, you know. But these days you have to pay for everything because life is what it is. The setup has changed. People are really moving, you know, from one corner to the next. Families are not what they used to be. So if you need community, you almost have to pay for that community. So you need a maid, you'll pay for the maid. The child needs to socialize, you'll pay for play group, you'll pay for a members club, you know, for children to go out there and have, you know, even be able to run because of the way even our dwellings are set up these days. It's all tarmac, it's all stone. So you're looking for green grass, you know, for the children. So you have to pay for all this. Now, when it comes to now single motherhood and why it becomes so expensive is because now it is a female or it's a woman-led household. It's a single income household. So if you have to go to work, you need to pay somebody to stay with your children so that you can go to work. And sometimes that care is very expensive. So you find that women really struggle. And you say, for example, you're a single mother and you are then maybe from your side of the family. It means that you only have one side of the family. It's not always the case, but that is usually the case, that once you leave you're a child's father, then you will only mostly have your side of the family. Now, if you're unfortunate enough not to have a functioning side or even a side at all, then you become the only family your children have. So community becomes something that you must build from scratch. Now, even if you have to build like friends and whatnot, the friend you're going to call family, again, it takes time. So, and time costs money. So it is expensive. This is one thing women are usually shamed for. Have children that you can look after. Why are you having all these children if you know you can't look after them? I don't think anybody wakes up in the morning and says to themselves, Self, let me get up now. I'm going to have this, even two children, even one child, and I know I can't look after them. I mean, life happens. Things happen to people. You could even have gotten married first, done it the right way, if there's any such thing. You got married first, waited maybe 1 or 2 years, put some savings somewhere or put things into place, got a education insurance or whatever it is, and then had the babies. But life happens. Widowhood, divorce, illness. So there's a lot of things that happen in life. So you cannot just wake up and just tell women have children that you can look after. The children are already here. What do you want her to do? Swallow them? You can't swallow them. So if you're not going to help somebody out of their predicament, maybe shut up. So don't be too quick to try and solve problems you've never lived. I always say, these problems in theory, life in theory is the easiest to live. Yeah. So things can happen. Don't feel embarrassed that now maybe you have this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 children you can't look after. It's life. Life happens. Sometimes you can look after them, sometimes you can't. Sometimes you're two people even in the relationship and you still can't look after your children. So it can't always fall on one person. Yeah. Unless you have a contract with God, you don't know tomorrow. You do your best, you plan, you take insurance, you get an education, whatever it is you do, but eventually, or at the end of the day, life happens. And if you're not fortunate for it to go the way you want to, it goes the way it goes, and you do what you must do. How do you build your life after life has broken you, marriage has broken you, and you're also trying to raise children, and it's not the easiest thing. But I insist in my book, I'm okay now. I'm healed now. Send me another man. Yeah. So how you do that is by first recognizing that your children are not your friends. I know we like to say these really nice things. Oh, my child is my best friend. I share everything with my child. No, your child is not your best friend. You are a parent to that child. You can be friends, but the level of friendship is not a best friend. The first thing you should do is find friends your own age, and who can take whatever it is you're going through. It is very difficult for a child to understand that the person who's supposed to be looking after them is breaking down. It's very scary. So you can imagine this person you're depending on for everything is now also telling you, I don't know what's going to happen. I want to die, and is collapsing. It's a very scary space to be. But if you're going to tell that to your friend, to your brother, to your therapist, to your mother, if you can. Those are different people. They are able, one, because they are not in the situation to look at it wholesomely and then help you. And two, even if they can't, it's something they can shoulder, because they know you are not going to really collapse. You're just feeling this way for a time, unlike a child. So one is get yourself people around you, age-appropriate people. 1, 2, if you need therapy, get secular therapy, people who really want to see your life work for you. Yeah. Two, you must really learn how to separate things. It's not easy, but it's something you want to do because it's your life. So you're not going to say it's going to be hard and want somebody to give you incentive. There's no incentive. It's your life. It's your children's lives. So you must want to live a good life. That means you must be conscious about things that are going on. That means that you must be taking part actively. So you can't just be saying that things are happening to you. You must, at some point, get up and make things happen. So yes, you might be feeling some kind of way, and you're feeling that kind of way. So what do you do to feel better? Yeah, do you need a break? Do you have somewhere you can take your children for a while and get some sleep? Could you take your children to, can you decide that maybe you don't have family or whatever? Take your children to Sunday school every Sunday morning. 10 o'clock, you go home and sleep, or sleep in the parking lot, or whatever the setup looks like for you. Go home and have 2 hours of good sleep. Yeah. So you must find active ways to do things. You cannot make excuses and say, oh, I don't have money for holiday. Yes, you don't have money for holiday, but you can take your children to church. And they have a Sunday service and you have 2 hours to yourself. I don't have a holiday. I don't have money to fly to South Africa. Yes, you don't have, but you can, you have a mother. Maybe you can take your children to your mother's house and go to your sister's house, change of scenery and spend the day. So be creative and look for things to do. Get hobbies. Don't forget, yes, you have problems. And the way to look at it, yes, we'll have problems, but you cannot deny yourself joy in those problems. You must look for pockets of joy, even in your problems. You can't put the joy on hold. Yeah. So actively seek spaces where you get a bit of nourishment and a bit of contentment, a bit of rest. Yeah, you must do it. It must be an act of resistance. So no excuses, because the life is yours. Yes, life requires mischief. Life always requires mischief. How can a mother inject mischief, joy, small rebellions? It's first of all by looking for the humor in it all. Without humor, sometimes you must laugh, because if you don't laugh, you'll cry. So humor in itself is an act of mischief. Mischief, when we say life requires mischief, we say life requires mischief because it's an act of resistance, it's an act of rebellion. Humor, laughter, is an act of rebellion. So you'll be in circumstances that are looking so grim, but if you choose to laugh, if you choose to go against the grain, even for 5 minutes, just laugh, or 2 minutes, look for the humor, laugh at yourself, laugh at that bugger of a baby daddy, laugh at your children, just laugh. Okay, not laugh at them that you're making fun of them to hurt them, but laugh at the circumstances. Look for the joke in it all. Look for, again, remember we said in the previous question that it's joy. Look for pockets of joy. Again, joy is an act of resistance. Go somewhere and dance. Sometimes some things don't every time you tell somebody to do something, they're always thinking, oh, but I don't have the money, It's not always about money. It's how you can find ways to do something. Go out and dance. Sometimes, and how many of us these days, we live walking distance to somewhere where you can dance. That's almost everywhere in Nairobi. I don't know about other places, but most urban cities, there'll be some corner somewhere that you can go and have a Fanta, if that's what you want. Have a beer, have a cider, have a glass of wine, or even have water, depending on what it is that it looks like. Listen to a bit of music, do something different. It could be go for a hike. Maybe your church is organizing a hike. Go for that hike. Look for different forms of pleasure, of mischief. It could be that boyfriend who wants to take you out of town. Tell your mother you're going for marketing. Can she hold the children you're going to hustle? And go and spend a night in Naivasha and come back. You don't have to tell anybody, but have those pockets that you force yourself to. Because when you start looking for opportunities to get joy, imagine the increase. That's how the world works. And when you find no opportunities for joy or for mischief or for rebellion, then there will be none. Yeah, go against the grain, save. Even saving is an act of rebellion. Getting yourself out of that pit is an act of rebellion and mischief, So always look for opportunities where you can get yourself out. Emotional honesty is a problem for African women because it requires vulnerability. Vulnerability requires honesty. That honesty, not even just with people, with yourself. I think many people think we are not honest with our emotions or where we are at, or when we are struggling with depression, when we are struggling with rejection, when we are struggling with abuse. People think that, for the most part, people think that it's because we don't want others to know. But I think when you look at it deeply, even when I reflect on the times when I've refused to be vulnerable, on the times when I've refused to be honest about where I am in life, it's not even for others, it's for myself. It's a disappointment in myself. It's a shame even to myself because, when we start off with such high expectations for life. You are there, you're going to get married, you're going to have these kids, and you're going to have this husband, and you're going to be knitting sweaters. All of you are going to wear the same yellow sweaters, and then you're going to be taking family photographs with your small dog, and you're going to be cooking dinner, and every day you'll be having this nice white apron with you're holding an oven dish, a beautiful oven dish, and you are there at the table, and it's set well with matching china and I don't know what else, and life doesn't happen that way. You married this man and he's beating you black and blue, and he kicks you out of the house at night, throws you out of a moving vehicle, calls your children names, doesn't give you money, you people are never able to pay rent, the landlord is always abusing you, you are abused everywhere, you are working at a job, your boss is a fool, your workmates are always gossiping about you, you go to church and everything is happening to you, so nothing is going according to the script. So you then wonder, what is wrong with me? But you are so it's such a bad place that you don't even want to sit with yourself and figure out where it went wrong. So you'll find that many people don't want to, that place of sitting down with themselves and managing that and being honest. But if we can start off by being honest with ourselves, sometimes you don't even have to then go to be honest with anybody else, because the person you live with always, your constant companion is yourself. If you can be honest with yourself, sit down with yourself and say, okay, you know what, this is what happened. And then at some point, take accountability for your side. Taking accountability, what I've discovered with taking accountability is it gives you power. It gives you some sort of power. You're not powerless. You at least did something. Yeah, and if it was wrong, the better, because at least if this thing was going wrong, I also contributed to my wrong. At least things were not happening to me. I threw a punch or two. Yeah. So if you're able to sit down, have those conversations with yourself, accept, tell yourself the truth, take accountability, then forgive yourself. I'm big on forgiving self, not forgiving anybody else. Everybody else must pay for what happens. But for you, you must forgive yourself. You must baby yourself. You must mother yourself afresh. Yeah? And accept that. That way, then we will be better mothers. If we accept that we don't always know. I don't know where we thought that just somehow we became African mothers and we know everything. You don't know everything. You hurt like everybody else, you bleed, you feel pain, lots of pain, it's emotional, it's physical, it's even financial. But we must come to places of acceptance. That's the only way we'll be able to deal with the depression And then that's the only way we will stop sinking and start swimming, because a lot of us are sinking. One of the biggest fear is passing on your trauma to your children. And I don't even think we look at it as our trauma, because a lot of the noise that has been made when it comes to passing on trauma, and especially for women and mothers, if we separate or if we divorce, then now my child is going to have daddy issues. And that's the biggest thing. It's not even just my child, my daughter will have daddy issues. So that's usually our biggest problem. That also, I must sit in this marriage, because then if I don't sit in this marriage, then I'm going to be passing on something to my children. And we've gone as far as calling it generational curses. We've called it demonic, I don't know what, possession and whatnot, people who are followed by demons and whatnot. We have said the devil is after marriages, and which is not really the case. All of us carry trauma. And I think that's one thing, first of all, we must understand and be clear about. And some of the trauma we don't even know we carry. Some of the trauma is in our DNA from our mother. So we are always going to pass trauma of some sort to our children. The most important thing we must figure out is, how do we get help for ourselves and for our children, and make that a generational thing. So instead of accepting that there's going to be generational curses, we should accept that there'll be generational awareness, where we seek help actively, whether we feel that we need the help or not. So what does that help look like? It looks like open conversations, where it becomes part of our thing, that in this family people talk. Whatever it is we are feeling, whatever shadows we feel we are following us, we talk about it too, that you seek therapy. And it becomes something that is done openly and without any shame. Because we are going to pass down trauma. It doesn't matter how good or bad we think we are going to pass down trauma. But how do you then heal once you know that you have trauma? Some of these trauma are caused, remember, we have trauma that we've carried from childhood. Then there's trauma that we've carried, that we've acquired as we've grown up, from relationships, from work and whatnot. How do we heal? Is when remember we've said therapy, it just must be a thing. Conversations, it must be a thing. We must create spaces where we have conversations in our homes that are open, that are not, we don't feel defensive. Yeah. And that are safe. Yeah, so because you told me you did this to me, now I'm not going to talk about it for the next 25 years. So we need to actively look for tools to want to make each other's lives better. You must get used to hearing what you did to somebody, and you don't have to like it. And you don't get to tell somebody what they did to you, or what they didn't do to you, or what you meant or what you didn't mean. So it will require a lot of humility. So how you heal by seeking help, and by also coming to your children and allowing them to talk. And that's one of the hardest things. It has also been very hard for me to listen to my children tell me some things that they went through. And for me, thinking that I was helping or that I was doing my part, and actually not achieving what those things were. So that also has been part of my healing, where my children are able to come to me and tell me, this is what's up. And also for me, going out and actively looking for spaces where I can heal, actively opening, getting into paths that I had kind of tried to cover. Healing also looks like seeing my mother for who she is, humanizing her. And also the other women around me, not just my mother, my father as well. So if you want to heal, it's constant. I don't think it's a one-day thing. Because every day you find something, but every day it gets better. You're never going to say, now I'm healed, there's nothing for me to do anymore, there's no work. As long as you're living, there'll be something that you'll be doing to somebody and somebody will be doing to you, and you'll be working through it. The danger of romanticizing suffering in relationships. Are there, do we romanticize suffering in motherhood? Absolutely. Absolutely. In fact, we think motherhood is suffering. And the more somebody suffers as a mother, the better mother they are. I always give this example of Mother's Day. When, people, a section of society, one half usually complains that, people really love their mothers. All you have to do is see how much Mother's Day is really, popular, and how, motherhood is really glorified, and men are not. Motherhood is not glorified. Suffering is glorified. If you look at messages, Mother's Day messages. If you look at any mother's birthday cards or the messages people send their mothers, if you look at the poetry written about mothers, a lot of songs written about mothers is suffering. My mother had nothing. She gave us everything. She gave us the clothes off her back. She had 5 jobs, and she made sure we had everything. For Christmas, the food was little. We only had 4 pieces of chicken, and so she gave us the 4, and she said she doesn't eat chicken. She drank water and ate bread. My mother always had torn shoes, but for us we had good shoes. And I even remember my grandmother telling me when I first gave birth, and this was her pep talk, and I know it came from a very good place, because my grandmother was a very good mother to her children, as far as I'm concerned. Maybe the children can tell me otherwise. And a very good grandmother, at least to me. And so, unless somebody else has another experience, she said to me that now that you're a mother, and I'm trying to translate it, because I think one of the English words she knew was standard. So she used to say, "Nyati emikete standard." A child you put your child in the standard. In the standard, meaning that you can wear torn shoes, but your child must be in the standard. So the child will wear good shoes. For you, it's okay. When people see the torn shoes, you look okay, but the child is looking clean with the good shoes and nothing torn, but you can be in tatters. Yeah. So you see, it was accepted that women, once they became mothers, now it is just giving everything to your last breath, and that's when you are a good mother. But if you are not doing that, then you are not a good mother. So what has happened with this is that now it's very hard for people to see a mother even go out to have a drink. Everybody's like, "Hey, you're here having a drink. Where are your children?" So I remember somebody asked me that, "Ataya, you are here. Where are the children?" I'm like, "No, I tied them on a tree." Because what do you think? I'd be here and I don't know where my children are. It's like we now cannot understand that 2 things can be true. That my children can be okay and I can be okay. That I can wear a good dress and my children will also have a good dress, or that I can have fun and my children are okay. It's just that because the suffering is so normalized that there's no way you can be a good mother if you're not suffering. So if I'm having fun, it then means that my children are suffering. You understand? Yeah. So that is the problem we have with normalizing suffering. Motherhood is not supposed to be suffering. Motherhood is not supposed to be pain. We accept all these things that until now, when you're not doing it, you must manufacture it so that you can feel that you are actually mothering. Because if there's no pain to it, you even now hear people saying that, hey, there's no way you can give birth. If you take any pain for medication for pain in birth, then you're not a real mother, because motherhood is pain, motherhood is suffering. If you went to a good hospital and you are there with all the comforts, then you have really tested motherhood, because for them you must first walk from one corner to the next in labor for 12 hours, no pain medication, doctor must be mistreat you, nurses must slap you, and then after that you give birth, tear from one corner to the next, have stitches almost till your ears, and then now you are a real mother. No, that is not motherhood. The only reason women are suffering is because they don't have community. The world has changed so much that women are not able to have community that they had before. This is women pre-colonial times. You had community. Very many traditions. You gave birth, you went back home to your mother, and your mother looked after you. Or your mother came and was there for 40 plus days and helped you look after your child, helped you look after yourself, so that you were not suffering. Your sisters were there, your in-laws were there, the whole community was there. They knew this one has given birth. They even had a name for you. Because at that time you are delicate. Yeah, I know from my people, you are called Manyuru. It was, you are delicate. Nobody even expected you to do certain things because you are in a delicate position, So this thing of when now that you have become a mother, things must just be so difficult for you is part of, I think, capitalism. Yeah, so that people can be selling things based on strange narratives. So now everybody only gets excited about posting their mothers if they really suffered, because you don't know what to do with a mother who didn't suffer. Yeah, you don't fit in. Everybody's mother was being thrown from one corner to the next, was begging, her hands were hard and cracked, her face, and they enjoyed posting those pictures. People will be posting their mothers on social media, and she's sitting next to 3 stones and firewood and a smoky place, and she's all hunched over and looking, I don't know how, and then you stand there next to her with your clean clothes and saying, my mother, without her I'd be nothing. No, let's stop glorifying suffering. The myths that we have around suffering are not true, are not right. Motherhood is not supposed to be an ordeal. Yeah, we're all supposed to enjoy this experience. The other day, I watched a very sad clip on TikTok. So there was a mother, and she was a mother to one, just a son. And she came on and she was, obviously frustrated. And she said, I'm okay, I'm not living on the street, but everything I'm doing now is for my son. I love my son. She kept saying, I love my son, but it's so hard. Everything I do must be for him. I have nothing for myself. I don't even have time for myself. I can't even sleep properly. I can't even eat, because I think the boy at that time maybe was a toddler or something. And when they're toddlers, they are a handful. So I can't even eat, because every time I want to start eating, he'll be all over the place. Maybe he wants to eat my food. He might knock off the plate, and all those two small things built together, it's so frustrating. You even want to cry if he takes even your tea. You feel like you have reached the point you want to cry. And she was saying, I'm so frustrated. I'm tired. I just wish I could go and give him to somebody, but I love him. And of course, you can imagine everybody, and mostly women. Oh, what type of mother are you? There are women looking for children, and you have a child. That is motherhood. Grow up. You must be. That is just a child. He doesn't have anybody. What do you want him to do? And everybody was going off on her, and nobody sat down for a minute and just thought, okay, you know what? She has not said she hates a child. These are feelings. Feelings are valid. They might not be true. They might not be right, politically correct. They might not even be biblical, but they are feelings, because they are human. They are valid. So what this woman was doing was a cry for help, but instead of getting help, she was shamed. All this woman maybe needs is somebody to walk up and say, you know what? Okay, give me that boy for 2 days, go and relax. I'm telling you, she won't even last 2 days because she'll sleep maybe 12 hours, then she'll start missing her son and come and get her son. Sometimes somebody just needs a break. That few hours break helps you put things into perspective, because when everything is just coming down on you, you don't have time, you are not sleeping, you're sleep deprived. And when children are young also, they get sick, anything small disrupts their sleep. If they fell and hit the head, they have a headache, now they won't sleep. If the teeth are coming out, they will not sleep. If the stomach is doing something, they will not sleep. If they watch something, they will not. So it is a constant battle. Then on top of that, you also have your head that is, moving up and down. You're trying to figure out, how are you going to pay this rent? How are people going to eat? How am I going to get from point A to point B? I need XYZ. My boss is doing this. Next week, I need to have done that. Life is happening to people. When somebody tells you, I cannot do it, I feel like I can't do it, it's not your time to shine and start telling them how you're a good mother. You had 5 and now you have managed. For her, she only has 1. Why can't she manage? That is not that time. This is not the Great Mother Olympics. Please, calm down. Have some empathy. If you can, help. If you can't, don't cause any more harm. Walk away. We need situations where mothers can actually see the truth. Then we will have less women killing their children and themselves. When you hear somebody has killed her children and then killed herself, people think it's so easy. She took the easy way out. Have you ever sat down and thought what is going through a woman's head when she's giving poison to her 4 children or 3 children? She's giving one and then she makes sure they all die, then she dies. Because again, you don't want to leave one who will survive and survives in that type of circumstances. So for you, are doing the best you can for them. And for you at that time, your best for yourself and your children is that everybody goes, let's go and try in the next life. It can't be an easy thing for you to sit down and actually go and buy the poison, come, sit down, prepare it, line your children one at a time, give them, make sure they die, then take and then make sure you die. I think that has to be the worst space to be in, because one, you don't even know where you're going. For all you know, you're going to a worse place, or you actually just don't know. So for her to trust the unknown and leave people here on earth that she knows, what type of space do you think she's in? So before we rush to judge, let's take some time. Because somebody has become a mother doesn't mean that now they are above pain and pain in whatever way it presents itself. Because somebody has become a mother doesn't mean that now they are given some strength that is unusual. In fact, that thing is such a big lie. When people say, when somebody becomes a mother, they are given strength. From where? Can somebody tell us where it comes from? So we can go and be getting a refill. Because if you've been given, then you can be going for refill. You are not given. You are still a girl. It doesn't matter how old you are at 82. As a mother, a grandmother, a great-grandmother, that person is still a girl. And everything they're doing for the first time. Every day they live, it's their first day that time. Yeah. So they don't know. So people don't know. So somebody becomes a mother, they don't know. I know they tell us it's instinct. It is not. It's not instinct to be nurtured. In fact, I think that instinct comes more for men than it comes for women. For us, we learn or we are bullied into it or we are shamed into it. Yeah. It's not anything that comes naturally. So let's support women. If you feel that it is becoming too much, it's not fun, because motherhood is not a funhood. It's the ghetto. Yeah. So when it becomes too much, if you can find people you can lean on them. But be careful not to open yourself up to very many useless people who want to shame you, because very many people have the IQ of a statue. So don't start trying to explain yourself. You hurt yourself even more. But when things are better, before things get worse, start leaning towards places you can get help. Start investing in communities where you get support, whether the community is related to you by blood or by shared principle. Choosing yourself is something I've always encouraged women to do. And it's not something that's easy to do. It's easier said than done. Because we have always been taught, and especially as women, from the beginning, that you are better when you choose other people. There's this story or the cliche or this thing that they do on the plane that we hear so many times and we take for granted, but we don't really understand what it says. We don't really sit down with it long enough to understand. When the air hostess says that, when the plane is maybe crashing or whatever, and the face masks fall down, and the oxygen masks fall from up, and they say, first you must put it on yourself. Even if you have a baby in your lap, you must put it on yourself first, then after, put it on the baby or put it on the person who's next to you, who's weaker or whatever. Because that's the only way you would save those two lives. And if worst case scenario, then save yourself. But if you are feeling like the martyr and the savior and you want to save this weak person first, chances are that you'll both die. Yeah, people are uncomfortable with surviving. Not even just people, women. Women are uncomfortable with surviving. That when you say, I put the face mask first, if I put my face mask on first, the chances are that either I survive or we both survive. Yeah. But if I put face mask on this person first, chances are we both die, because this one is too weak to hold the mask for themselves. So if I have no oxygen, I die, and then this one will die because they cannot hold the mask up for themselves. So women are very uncomfortable with surviving. And surviving doesn't just mean surviving physically. Like in you don't die and the person dies. Surviving is surviving financially. Surviving is surviving emotionally. Surviving socially. Yeah. So we always want to put other people first, which can be a problem. Because then, remember we said what chances are that we will both die. Or I survive, you don't. But it also isn't that that hard-lined, depending on the different places you're looking at it from. Another story also that helped me, that saved me, and made me start looking at things also a bit differently, is a story I tell a lot about a certain woman that I watched on the Oprah show, who was talking about, and she was a financial advisor, was talking about women, and especially single women raising children. And she says, you know what, sometimes, because it's hard, you're trying to look after these children, trying to give them an education, maybe the best you can do is give them maybe a primary and a secondary education. And now you don't have money to take them to college or whatever it is, you don't have the money. And because you've worked so hard, you're not as strong. Maybe some lifestyle diseases have checked in. So if you don't want to repeat the cycle, so you want to at least save yourself. Because in this saving yourself, actually, you save your children. So if for example, I'm not able to take these children to university, for example, I don't have the money, I can't pay for it. But with the money I have, I can get myself a small place to live, and I'll be able to look after myself. What does that do for the children is that, yes, they've reached the secondary school, but these ones are young. They can work and go to school. And they have time also. So they can work and really struggle and pay for their own education from then on. As opposed to me insisting on trying to take them to school, this little money that I could have even gotten a place to live, and retire quietly and have 1 or 2 shillings to be able to look after myself. I've now invested in this child. We then reach year 2 or year 3 of university. Now we have nothing completely. Now this child then struggles for the rest of it. Then even after finishing to the school now, even if they get a job, remember now they must also look after me, because I have nothing. I have no place to live. I have no food to eat. I have now, because I've struggled all through, I have high blood pressure, diabetes, whatever it is, whatever the disease, lifestyle disease from stress, that comes with it. So now I'm on medication. I don't have food. I don't have a place to live. And then my son or my daughter is here who has just started a job. Of course, it's entry level. How much are they earning? But that money, that child must live, that child must eat. And then remember, he has a brother or sister also, and we have nothing else to do, and they're trying to also figure out that sibling. What does that do? We create a cycle of poverty. Yeah. But if I was at least able to look after myself, then this child is able to also look after themselves with their small salary, whatever it is they get. They'll struggle, yes, but it's for a while. It's for a short while. We can see the end coming. Because I have my small monies, I can also still look after the other siblings. So even if they choose to help, it's not a do or die situation. Yeah. So these are some of the examples that I give when I say put yourself first. It's so important. Even when you are there mothering, and even when the children are young, put yourself first. Take some time out to be away from those children. It's not going to kill them. It's not going to damage them. It's even going to make your relationship better. Take time out. You might have a budget for food. This week is 5,000 shillings. But you can remove 2,000 and people will eat skuma and ugali. Nothing will happen to them. Take that 2,000 bob, go somewhere, carry a book, or go somewhere for swimming, lie down on a, there's some hotels you can go and spend the day there, pay maybe some 2,000, and you sit by the pool and just look at life from a different point of view. And when you come back, you'll be a better parent. Yeah. So putting yourself first is not a luxury, it's a necessity, because then it sets the tone. It will tell you whether you survive, you and your children survive, or you all perish. So putting yourself first is also important. We've come to the end of the first episode. Thank you so much for listening. If you've gotten to this point, you're my kind of woman. If anything I said resonated with you, touched a nerve, annoyed you, let me know in the comment section. Share this episode with a woman, a mother that you know, that's enjoying or not enjoying, so that we can build a community. I look forward to seeing you again on the next episode as we discuss more issues that affect us as African women.